All right, what's up, my friends? Another Monday, and this is a crazy Monday. It's funny. So if you're when you're in school and you're a school kid and you're like, it's Monday, this week we're on winter break, Christmas is coming, this is the best day ever, we have nothing to do for the next week and a half. And if you're a grown-up and you have any sort of job that pertains to Christmas, retail, food service, anything, you're like, oh my God, it's Monday, Christmas is coming, it's going to be insane. But it's time for reflection on the year, holiday cube drafts, and looking back on last week, where one of the most exciting things to happen in Magic, really in the history of Magic ever, happened last Tuesday. I was lucky enough to take part in it. It was the Twitch Rivals Arena Tournament, and the Magic Gauntlet, they called it. And it was 45 partnered Twitch streamers invited to play a tournament run by Twitch. My article on Friday last week was all about the tournament itself, and then Arena, and sort of the future of Magic and esports and stuff, because as far as I know, that tournament was the first tournament ever run by an entity that was not either Wizards of the Coast or a secondhand Magic card retailer. They ran it for entertainment purposes only, essentially, which is awesome. $10,000 prize pool. I did badly, whatever. Most important part is that it's a big step, especially in the early beta stages of Arena, where Magic is an esport. 2019 is going to be awesome. That's all I got to say. And fellow streamer, friend of mine, Caleb Durward, took down the whole event, playing a somewhat surprising choice, especially given the metagame. Metagame was pretty wild. A lot of mono white aggro decks in top 8, and Caleb just took them all down, even though this deck is usually better against slower decks. But what is this deck? This is the affectionately named Mono Blue Poopers deck. A deck, it's basically a 1-card deck. This is an aggressive blue deck, very much tempo deck, looking to stick a threat or two, counter a spell or two, and ride to victory. And in a lot of ways, this is a 1-card deck. This is a Curious Obsession deck. A card, if you're familiar with some of the decks I was brewing earlier this year with Saram, my Saram Auras deck, this card's really, really good. But of course, it requires you to be playing a aggressive blue deck, which is not always the case. However, we're doing it here. We're playing a lot of draft commons because this card is simply so good. If you've ever played against this deck before, you know that turn 1 creature and then turn 2 Curious Obsession with dive down up is almost impossible to beat. The tempo swing is huge, and then every turn you're drawing 2 cards and drawing more counter spells, and you get to kind of ride the Curious Obsession creature to victory. So definitely the most important card in the deck by far. This deck would not exist in a competitive form without this card right here. So this is your card you want to see in every opening hand. Games where you draw this card are much different than games you don't. So Obsession is it. Dive down to protect that creature. And we also have a lot of our 1-mana creatures. We have 4 Mist-Cloaked Herald for unblockability. Siren Stormtamer serves double duty as an early creature as well as a protection spell. Then we kind of go up the curve here a little bit. You know, we have cards like Merfolk Trickster and Exclusion Mage to give us a few ways to interact with opposing creatures. Again, very much tempo deck. Very much looking to kill you before your cards matter. You know, in a format of Vraska's Contempts and Rekindling Phoenixes and these expensive 4 and 5 mana cards, if you kill them before they cast them, works out pretty good. So some counter spells, of course. We have Essence Scatter to counter creatures. We have Wizard's Retort, which is very good with our wizards in our deck. Basically just a counter spell, like the card counter spell. Chart of Course, draw a few cards. Blink of an Eye. Opt helps us find our important cards, which are, of course, Curious Obsession. And then, while most of this deck is predicated on synergy and small, weak cards working together to form a bigger picture, we do have one very powerful card in the deck, which is Tempest Djinn, which is very, very powerful as far as mana cost to what you get for it goes. 3 mana for a 3/4 flyer at a minimum is very, very good. So again, obviously only playable in a mono blue aggro deck, so it doesn't see too much play. But hey, we have a mono blue aggro deck right here. So 20 islands, nice and low land count. Definitely a very, very tricky deck to play. Again, your cards are very weak, I think one of the best ways to describe this deck is you're basically a ninja with a knife. And your opponent, if they're playing, whatever mythic rare laden deck they're playing, is more like an ogre with a huge hammer. And while the huge hammer is much more powerful, and the ogre is clearly stronger than the ninja, if the ninja can be sneaky and sly and pick his spots and jab here and dive, and jab there and dive, he will take down the large ogre no matter how big their weapon is. Definitely a perfect analogy for this deck. Our cards are a little underpowered. They require us to play very wryly and make sure we're picking our spots, playing up counterspells at the right times, and so on and so forth. But the deck is very powerful, as obviously Caleb won the event with it. Gabriel Nassif also top 8 at a GP with this deck somewhat recently. The last nice reason for this deck is, this is our first Arena video, and if you're just getting into Arena, this is a really, really good deck to start with. Let's go real fast. Uncommon, common, 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 common. I'm sorry, uncommon. Common, uncommon, common. Uncommon, uncommon, rare. Uncommon, basic lands. That's right. Only 4 rares. You can build this deck on Arena probably after like a few days of grinding, if that. In the total free-to-play model. Sideboard's got common, common, uncommon, uncommon. 1 mythic, it's not even necessary. Caleb said he didn't even like this card. A rare, and maybe 2 more rares. So, very cheap deck to build. Great place to start on Arena. For those who are a little scared of diving down into Arena. This is a great place to start before you drop a bunch of money. And also a very skill-intensive deck. Great deck to learn as well. Sideboard's got a lot of stuff. Spell Pierce, Negate, Surge Mare, Diamond Mare for red decks, Deep Freeze for Niv Mizzet and larger creatures. I don't know why Jace is here, honestly. Transmogrifying Wand. I don't know what this card is for. Maybe like Baneslayer Angel and stuff, or Lyra Dawnbringer, sorry. Sleep for green decks, Melody for token decks. It's pretty simple. Deck list is not too crazy. Great starting point for Arena, though. So let's go in. We're going to play in a traditional constructed event on Arena. This is very similar to a league on Magic Online. It could be a maximum of 6 rounds, where you play until you get 5 wins or 2 losses. So hopefully it'll be only 5, and we'll, win all 5 rounds, but we'll see. Let's go. Card. All right. So we're really looking for opening hands that contain Curious Obsession. And this hand does not, and is also very weak. So this hand wouldn't even beat most draft decks. And it's important to understand that this is a synergy-based deck, and that we have cards. When you have a card in your deck like Curious Obsession, where it's so important to your game plan, you are much more apt to mulligan, because the hands with Obsession are so much better than the hands that don't have it. This is a pretty clear mulligan regardless, but definitely something to consider at all times. You're going to mulligan more with this deck than you would with a normal standard deck, like, say, Golgari mid-range, which rarely mulligans. This hand is also not good, but I think at this point we're going to be fine keeping. Alright, easy bottom, of course. So, not great. Plains. Alright, unfortunately, the white aggro decks are not a good matchup for us, because one of the ways to beat this deck is to simply go wide. This deck excels when your opponent is trying to kill your creatures with kind of slow or clunky removal spells, but it's not that fast, and it doesn't necessarily go wide very well either, or defend decks going wide. These naturally have very little removal. Well, that was a really good drop. We're going to fire off here. It's a little weird that it didn't have a 2-drop. If they're playing Hunted Witness, they're probably aggressive. We're not sure of that. Let's draw a land here. Yes, please. Alright, didn't draw a land. So, hopefully, there's no removal spell here. We have dive downs in our hand. If we get to untap, we're going to be in great shape. But very peculiar. It's possible they're playing a 2-color deck and don't have the requisite mana, but want this land here. Alright, so we didn't draw a land. And now we're in a spot where we need to decide if we want to put shields down and play a spell, or just say go. I'm pretty happy just saying go here. I think that protecting our creature is more important. Our opponent has not done very much this game, and keeping this Mist-Cloaked Herald in play is paramount. So we're going to just pass the turn. We're going to discard probably a Mist-Cloaked Herald. I imagine the Tricksters will be nicer in the mid-game. And we already have a Herald, another 1-drop. I think Herald is the least important card in our hand. Again, a lot of the skill with this deck is simply figuring out when you want to lead mana up, when you want to cast things, and so on and so forth. Not really sure what our opponent's doing. Alright, that looks familiar. Very peculiar game we're playing here. And it's also not a land, so we'll be discarding once again. Heralds and I think Shard of Course is probably unnecessary at this point. Once again, we are defending with Dive Down. We're ideally drawing a land next turn so we can Obsession and just keep this train rolling here. If you've played Delver of Secrets decks in Modern or Legacy, this is definitely somewhat similar. Alright, so there is your Conclave Tribunal. It's interesting, they could have targeted our Curious Obsession there, and we would not have been able to stop it once the Tribunal resolves, which would be an interesting way to handle the problem. Alright, so now we could play the other Obsession, and if we don't draw a land, things get really ugly. If we do draw a land, the game is probably over, because we'll be able to protect with our Dive Down. It's still very hard to place what's in our opponent's hand, given how weird this game is played out. However, I think we're far ahead enough where we can just wait. I think the risk there of us missing and then them having another removal spell is just too great. And we're already doing fine this game. Right. Then we're going to end turn and discard. I think Tempest Djinn is probably unnecessary here. Maybe a Trickster. I'm not thrilled with Blink, but we don't really know what they're doing yet, so I'm just going to discard the Djinn. Djinn or Trickster. Maybe just Trickster. We already have one. We have a Blink, too. Let's keep a little variety, I guess. Alright, there's your Lyra Dawnbringer, which is going to resolve. Yes, Lyra Dawnbringer is quite good. We have a way to bounce it, a way to tap it. We really need to draw land. Now that we're under more pressure, I'm a little more comfortable playing Curious Obsession and just trying to find this second land, because it's been a really long time. It's been a few turns. And we can't afford to just sit here, because obviously they have a Lyra in play, so we're gonna go for it, and I hope we draw this second land here off 2 draws. Alright. We did it. Now we get to say go. We'll discard. Is it weird? I think it's opt. Getting to opt end step is kind of nice. We want the bounce spell. We want the counter spell. Maybe Tempest Djinn also. I think we're just going to literally ride this thing all the way. Yeah, let's discard a Tempest Djinn. We're pretty all in here. This is definitely a deck where once you have a good threat, you don't necessarily need more threats. You're much more interested in protecting the threat that you have. Dauntless Bodyguard. That is fine. Lyra mean. Alright, let's opt. Looking for another land here. Instant Scatter isn't really necessary, I don't think. I'm much more interested in drawing a land. Cool. Okay, so we're going to fire in again. And part of what makes Obsession so important in this deck is that our cards aren't very good, but if you draw a lot of them, it doesn't matter how bad they are, you know? 4 bad cards is better than 1 good card. Opt, sure. I do wish there was a way to auto-yield, like on Magic Online, where I could just say, yes, I want to draw the card every time. Alright, now I got plenty of lands. Alright, so now we're going to pass the turn. We are not going to Exclusion Mage because that would open us up to a possibility of this dying. And once this dies, it's going to be very hard to win. So we're going to save that for next turn. I'll be able to leave up Dive Down. I suppose we could play Siren Stormtamer, actually. But we're going to want to tap this. Yeah, that's what leaves us exposed. So we're going to say go. With the intention of Merfolk Trickster tapping Lyra on their attack step. The Trickster can also block their stuff. We still have Dive Down for Herald, or let's discard a island, and I think opt. We have basically everything we want right now. So we tap this. We still have mana for Dive Down. We get to untap and then play Exclusion Mage with either Dive Down up or just Blink of an Eye. All right, so attack step. Lyra also loses all abilities too, so Lyra is a grounded 5/5. Now if they want to attack, I'm pretty happy blocking here. So if we keep the Trickster in play, it does turn on our Wizard's Retort, which may or may not be necessary. Next turn we are probably casting Exclusion Mage, so I think I'm fine just blocking here. Pride of Conquerors. Okay. So, this is fine. Trickster's not very important. 6 is still not dead. So, and a Sky Marcher Aspirant. Alright, these are cards. They have no cards left. So we are going to play land. We're going to attack. And we are going to decide our best course of action, which now may be to play Stormtamer and just simply cast Blink of an Eye on the Lyra Dawnbringer, because it's more mana efficient, and then next turn we can cast Exclusion Mage. One of the nice things about these, bounce spells, Blink of an Eye is obviously card disadvantage, but we're drawing so many cards it doesn't really matter. Tempest Djinn, okay. Wizard's Retort. Yes, we don't want to die. We don't want to die to a pump. I guess we would die to a Pride of Conquerors at this point, but we can't really do much about it. Bounce Lyra, play this. So yeah, if they draw another Pride of Conquerors, we're dead. If we Exclusion Mage and Stormtamer, then our shields are down. But I suppose at this point we have enough stuff we could probably get by at the Herald. Worst case scenario. Yeah, you know what? I actually kind of like that. We have Tempest Djinn. We have another bounce spell. We can always bounce the Lyra and then play the Djinn. And the Djinn deals with most of his stuff. So, alright, bounce Lyra. This doesn't die to a top deck Pride of Conquerors or something. History of Banality. It does look cool, doesn't it? Guess who's back? Oof, that's impressive. Okay. Alright, this is fine. At this moment, I'm fine trading things off. Also not taking damage, so we're at 5. We once again are going to attack. Chart, of course. All right. Once again, I don't think we are going to be able to. I guess we gotta. If we're gonna bounce the Lyra, we kind of have to counter it too. Honestly, if it comes down one more time, we don't have any answers anymore. Now we have all these counter spells too. So I guess we're just saying go here. I'm just bouncing Lyra and then countering it, and then they have a Pride of Conquerors. We're in big trouble, but. Realistically, we just need to. We don't have a direct answer to Lyra yet. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if they have a good draw here, we could be in trouble. But. We have 5. We need to draw a creature of some kind. So we go to 2. And we need 2 blockers next turn. Tempest Djinn being one of them. Don't play something else. So we do need to draw a creature or a bounce spell here, or we are dead. Pretty good too. It's also Wizards, and now my Retort is on as well. It's very, very nice. That played nicely. Alright, so they have large knights. Planes. We block, counter, swing for lethal. So, being a Lyra is pretty cool. Lyra's a tough card to beat. Lyra is a tough card to beat. So, they're a white deck. They seem to be a little big and small at the same time. Entrancing Medley is definitely kind of nice. Dive Down is not going to be nearly as important. Deep Freeze is interesting. It does answer Lyra, but I don't know how many Lyras they actually have. I think Blink even I can go take out 2 Dive Downs. Definitely want these Entrancing Melodies. I think I want Sleep too. That might be it, honestly. I mean, Wizard's Retort. If I had a 4th Essence Scatter, I might take that over Wizard's Retort. I mean, Spell Pierce answers history. I don't think we want Deep Freeze. It's more just for Niv Mizzet. Blink. Maybe Blink over 1 Retort on the draw. Retort's a little slow than a Wizard. And Blink's a nice safety net. Bouncing a token isn't the worst either, so. Damn cool with this. That game was a good example of this deck's plan, though. Just play the thing with Obsession, protect it, and then win the game off the million cards that you draw. Obviously, we were kind of mana screwed early. We didn't play our second land until, like, turn 4 or 5 or something, but opponent didn't do much either, so it worked out. Obviously, if our opponent had any reasonable curve that game, we were dead as a doornail, but why are doornails dead? You know? Alright, we're on the draw here. We have no Obsession, which is obviously stinky. We do have a 1-lander with 2 mana plays, and an Opt, and a Chart, of course, Entrancing Medley, and an Exclusion Mage. 2 good cards in the matchup. I'm okay keeping this hand. If we draw any land or Obsession, our hand's very good, I think. We have Opt to find a land if not. And we have a lot of good cards in the matchup regardless. I'm okay keeping this hand. On the play, I would not keep it, I don't think. But I think on the draw, we're okay. Apparently the Scorpion is named Pinchy McStingbutt. I did not name it, but I have heard that is what it's named. Don't quote me on it. Legion's Landing. Alright, it's a pretty good draw here. We draw a land here. I'm probably going to... We didn't draw land. We never draw land. I would have stolen the Lifelinker, which would allow me to block one of these and turn off the landing flip. Unfortunately, we didn't draw land, so it's bad for us. We're going to opt and look for a land. The hand was obviously a little risky. Alright, now we're probably in trouble. I'm going to leave this back and trade with one of these. We can't just take 5 next turn and attack for 1 for no value, so we'll turn our Mist-Cloaked Herald into a shot. A shock. Gut shot. Whatever you want to call it. Oh my god. Alright. Well, we are assuredly dead this game. As I said, decks that go wide do very well against mono blue, and our opponent's curved out pretty well here. And we also haven't drawn a land, so we are going to draw cards, probably a non-land, and going to concede and go to game 3. It was a risky keep. Maybe I was a little too risky. Obviously, we drew a land. We feel like geniuses, but maybe it was too risky. Maybe the opt was a trap, given that they're gonna have, you know. And also, I think that like their hand was so bad last game. Perhaps I was lulled into a false sense of security, and they just had a really good hand this game, so that's fine. I probably should have mulliganed. The opt just got me. Alright, still pretty happy with everything here. Do we need to make our third land or second land drop here? Alright, we're going to play first. Okay, very similar to game 1. A hand with not a lot of action that may not be able to beat some draft decks. Obviously give me a Curious Obsession. This hand is insane, but two flying men and an unblockable 1/1 and 3 islands is probably not doing much. So we're gonna have to mulligan this hand. Despite being 3 lands and 4 spells, it's just not good enough. This hand is also bad, but realistically, we have a Trancing Medley to steal a creature, and I don't think we can afford to go to 5. It's not that bad. We're gonna keep bottom. We don't need a bounce spell. So we have Melody to steal a creature token. Hopefully we'll draw a land and play Tempest Djinn. Mist-Cloaked Herald. You can see how embarrassing the Mist-Cloaked Herald looks without the Curious Obsession. Again, this is definitely a Curious Obsession deck. This is a 1-card deck. Sure. Not the end of the world. Tricky. So we're gonna make it lose all the abilities, then block it, and just get a free kill here. And we're probably gonna steal this history token. We drew a land, so we can play Tempest Djinn, and our retort does cost 2. So we play Tempest Djinn, and then next turn we can go retort plus entrancing melody. I like that. We're gonna play land. We're gonna attack. This is a gutsy attack because they may block, and they block it's very bad for us, but I don't think they will. Okay. I'm gonna just go Tempest Djinn. Very different than the game one, where you're playing a little more of a slugfest here. We have a few more powerful cards in our hand. Oh my god. Alright, that is pretty tough to beat. Alright. We did not draw a land either. Ugh. So we get to Entrancing Melody and steal its Oaken, but they're going to have 2 4/3s attacking us next turn. I think we attack. They're not going to block again. And we get to... Maybe I guess we could opt first. Yeah, we're not gaining much. I should have opted first then. My thought was just we Entrancing Melody and then opt on their turn, but there's really no reason to opt on their turn because we just could make a land drop here. So that was a mistake. I should have opted first. I didn't plan out my turn before I attacked. Because obviously, normally it wouldn't matter, but the land drop affects the power of Tempest Djinn. So, mild sequencing error. It's an Essence Scatter. We gotta bottom that, I think. That's not bad. Alright, let's steal one of these tokens. Not ideal, but I think our goal is to find some lands, cast Sleep, hopefully, get a Trickster in there. And I think sneaking in these points of damage is going to be really, really important. They have one card. We did not draw a land either. Oh, it's so bad. This actually might be okay for us. I guess it's not because the history's going off. Oh, man. So it loses abilities but not creature types. So the history going off next turn is brutal. If the history wasn't going off and they attack with everything, we might have been able to get them pretty bad by trickstering this, removing the abilities, and then making some really good blocks. But unfortunately, everything's going to be huge next turn. We didn't draw a land for Sleep. So we are probably just really dead to this double history draw. That's kind of sad. I guess we make some chump blocks. We could also attack Chartercourse Trickster and set up for a possible Sleep turn. Although once they flip the landing, then the Sleep doesn't even matter that much anymore. Alright, so we Trickster, tap this, chump, take 4, 5. Alright, go to attackers, let's go. No, I can't really get Sleep. Alright. We're going to cast Chartercourse and try and get lucky. We need to draw a land. If we don't, we're dead. But I think we need to draw a land anyway, so we'll just do it. We didn't draw a land. Alright, we're dead. Obviously that was very risky, but we're super far behind anyway, so I think taking risks is important. Oh my god. Alright. 6/6. Yeah, I mean we're dead. Alright. So that's pretty tough. Beating double history with this deck is very difficult. We had the Sleep. If we had drawn the land that turn and got to cast Sleep, we might have won that game. And then be able to cast double Trickster the following turn after, but that's pretty tough. So tough round one there. Again, I am a little surprised that Caleb did so well against the white decks. There were a lot of aggro white decks in the tournament, and it's definitely a hard matchup. This deck excels against slower decks, but can be pretty tough against the more aggressive one-drop decks. Well, we drew Curious Possession. Okay, that's a little better. Just want any land. That's tough. Now we're just gonna play against mono red. Yeah, that's really, really bad for us. Alright. Right on time. Trickster. Without any way to protect it reliably. So we can set up an attack with it. Alright. We obviously need a vessel for our Curious Obsession. Okay, that's not the worst. I mean, they may kill that. We can try and Trickster. Now we have to kill 2 things, and they're both wizards, so we can have Obsession with Counterspell backup. I think this is actually really good for us. So now you get to Trickster, remove the ability on this, and block it. Assuming no shock. If they have no shock, then I mean, we're in trouble, but that feels nice. Trickster's a nice little card. Okay. Things are turning around a little bit here. Okay, so we could Exclusion Mage. Matches bad because if you take damage anyway, and then it takes down Counterspell. So now we're in our spot. Listen, you're always looking to get into this spot here where you have Creature, Obsession, Counterspell, or some form of interaction. And your entire goal is like, just to keep this train going. Whatever you do, keep the Obsession going. Draw cards. Roll. Draw more cards, you know? Flame of Keld. This is a story about fire. Alright, I mean, Exclusion Mage to bounce the Pyromancer doesn't even feel like it does anything. I'm just gonna block. Trickster. Right. I would like a good draw here. That's fine. That plays. Again, basically the perfect card for this deck. Cheap flyer. Also protection spell. Now we have Exclusion Mage to bounce stuff. We have Trickster to tricky stuff. Get tricky. Now, do we want to end step the Trickster? Just for a bear? I don't think so. Trickster eats the Lava Runner, as we saw very, very well, so Chart of Course is fine. Herald and Tempest Djinn. So still no counter spells. We have Siren Stormtamer and Trickster. Let me just say go. Alright, all their stuff deals more damage. We have a counterspell, risk factor. So we take 6, let them draw 3. We're not countering that, by the way. Just need to protect this. Alright. I'm going to take 6. I think being at 8 is okay. 3 cards right now with the Flame of Keld triggered on is pretty bad for us. I said take action. Goblin Chain Whirler. So we can't counter it. I'm stupid. I forgot that it was gonna deal 3 instead of 1. I don't think there's anything we could have done though. That really stinks. Alright. We also took 3 too. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, that's not a land. Ugh. Obviously, playing Exclusion Mage to bounce this is not ideal. Number 10. Play Tempest Djinn. They have 1 card in hand. Wow, what a terrible card for us. I mean, I guess we go to 1. I don't. We draw a land, they're dead, I guess. All right. All right, so they can draw 3. They draw land shock, we're dead, or land 1 drop, we're dead. They did not. All right. Pretty weird game. Definitely drew a lot of creatures. All right, and we'll take it. We'll take it. Wasn't pretty, but we'll take it. All right, so we're gonna take out. Exclusion Mage does not seem very good here. Diamond Mare does seem good. Not really a sleep matchup. Spell Pierce is interesting. Wizard's Retort's a little expensive. Essence Scatter's good. Blink of an Eye is... It's not great, that's for sure. Let's cut a Retort. I think I want a Spell Pierce. Like the early turns are just so important. And then Surge Mare's okay. It's not great. It blocks stuff. But Diamond Mare does a similar thing. I think we're fine with this. I'm not throwing a Blink of an Eye, honestly. And you know what? I think I just almost don't mind the Wizard's Retort. Maybe Surge Mare is okay. I'm not sure. Countering Chain Whirler is pretty important, so Essence Scatter and the Wizard's Retort can do that. Fat Rabbit. Ugh, another no 1-drop hand. Does have Scatter. Trickster into Chart, of course. I'm going to keep. Scatter into Retort's reasonable. Trickster's also a reasonable blocker. This is not a great hand. Be a lot better on the play, that's for sure, but... Alright, good plays. Alright, so feels like Chain Whirler. Having the option here to Scatter or Trickster is kind of nice. Runaway Steamkin. I think we have to Essence Scatter that. It's going to get really big. Kind of a weird alert. Caution sign. Can't be blocked. That's kind of cool. Alright, we're still just saying go here. I'm not ready to cast Chart, of course, yet. So leave up the Wizard's Retort. And Trickster. Another Runaway Steamkin. It's tough because you don't really have a clock yet. You know? Alright, I'm going to counter this too. Next turn we have Chart, of course. And then we draw some cards. We have Trickster. That's a lot of diving down. Alright, that's not great. This is fine. We could obviously Trickster block, but we're playing that into 5 cards, which is not really necessary. We can do it next turn with dive down back up. It's only 1 damage. That's a pretty good turn for us. Alright, ooh, that was really good too. Okay. It's on now. These dive downs are looking really, really good. Dive down number 2. That's a stack if I ever saw one. You're going to have a big booty Mist-Cloaked Herald. That's an 8-ball. And draw. Alright, our ball is now rolling. So, Essence Scatter. Sure. So, as long as they don't have a good like double spell turn this turn, I'm feeling pretty good. They cast a creature. I'm not gonna want so Wizard's Lightning. Yeah, we have to dive down here. If they have another removal spell, we're probably in trouble. But I mean, what are you gonna do? I guess it gives it a big booty, and they didn't cast it in response. So all right, we are out of dive downs though. So Diamond Mare, that plays. They seem to be out. So their cards in hand. You know, we're always trying to figure out what our opponent has in hand. They obviously have no shocks, no Wizard's Lightning, no Lightning Strikes, no 2-drops, no 1-drops. So, could be Chain Whirlers, Experimental Frenzies, things of that nature. We're going to play Diamond Mare and choose blue. And nice little horsey sound there. Trickster looking nice. A little Trickster trick here. Get tricky. Blah, blah, to rock around and rock around. Now, Chain Whirler looks really nice with both creatures 1 damage. They Chain Whirler, we have some scatter. Oh, look at that. Taking him to town. Just gotta get that obsession going. Obsession. Alright. I'm pretty cool at attacking here. Let's turn the corner. We're playing stuff and drawing cards and gaining life. We have no way to protect our Herald anymore, so we are, I think, pretty happy to just jam stuff and start attacking. So if they kill this, we are still clocking them. Lava Claw, right? Just like I said. Now they're at 8, we're at 15. They are still attacking. Okay. That is aggressive. Alright. If they want to trade 2 for 4 damage, I'll do it all day. Rekindling Phoenix. Fancy. Hedwig. Good thing we have these 1/1 unblockables. Please don't draw a Chain Whirler. Flame of Kill. And they're not dead yet. That was good. Go unblockable 1/1s. Powerful, powerful magic card. Mist-Cloaked Herald is. Alright, they got 3 fresh cards. We have 1 Essence Scatter and a Dream. Pyromancer, sure. We are plenty of life. We are not scared. They also already have a Wizard, so Wizard's Lightning is on. Alright, cool. So, we almost beat a bad matchup, and then we just beat a bad matchup. Hopefully we'll have some good matchups today. That would be nice. Get some gold. Obviously, there's a lot of cool daily quests and stuff on Arena. So, just by virtue of playing, you get lots of gold and coins and stuff. It's pretty cool. 1-1. Get tricky. Nublet. Nublet? Alright, play first. Man. That's a hand. That's better. So we are one Curious Obsession away from the Newts. Well, cost one blue, but not quite. And again, when you're playing a deck that has, you know, essentially a one-card deck, a deck that's so reliant on a certain card, you tend to be more aggressive with your mulligans. You also tend to be more aggressive with your scries. I'm going to bottom most cards that aren't a obsession, because that just gets me one card closer to my obsession. Obsession. Sunbiddle Grove, Hinterland Harbor. So, these are the kind of decks you want to play against with your mono blue deck. Possibly a Turbo Fog deck of some kind. Realistically, a deck that is just playing very slow things. And our deck's pretty quick, so that's good for us. I am going to slam a Tempest Djinn here. There's no card they can have on 3 I'm really scared of, and if they kill it, so be it. If we get to untap here with Tempest Djinn in play, and dive down and Wizard's Retort, I think we are heavily favored to win the game. Yeah, so some sort of Turbo Fog deck. Basically our ideal matchup. Slow, clunky, spell-based deck. Obviously Essence Scatter, not the best draw in the world, but whatever. We got a clock. We got everything going for us. Play a wizard and say go. Stormtamer counters settle. Discovery. That is more than fine. It's very important also with this deck. You know, our counter spells need to be, again, then what's this? What is this? Uncomfortable Chill. That's a fog. And Search for Escanthe. So definitely a fog deck. You know, it's important, like we were saying about the ninja, our ninja analogy from earlier on. We need to make sure we precision strike in just the right spots. We only have so many counter spells. You gotta make sure you use them on important stuff. Actually gonna miss a land drop here? That's unbelievable. We're gonna slam. I can't imagine a card that costs 4 mana that hurts us that bad. And they've already missed the land drop. They discarded a Karn. You know, the Wrath of God cost 5. Teferi cost 5. Settle obviously doesn't kill our creatures on their turn. I'm just gonna slam here. Should put lethal in play for next turn. Sure. So they have Gift into possible Fog. So 4, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so we're not there yet. We're 2 turns away. Upkeep Root Snare. Okay. This is fine. Our attack is not lethal, and our counterspell is too important to wait at the moment, so it's a cool little effect. Let's play land. Say go. 4, 8, 9, 10. We draw a land, we have lethal next turn. Teferi. So we need to ask ourselves, how much does Teferi matter? And I think it matters a lot. The ability to play Teferi, untap 2 lands, and then fog us next turn. If that sequence happens, we counter the fog, but if we don't draw a land to kill them, we're in big trouble. Whereas countering the Teferi here, if it keeps the fog in their hand, then they can fog next turn. But once they get Teferi going, we can't really win anymore. So it's counter risk and draw a land. Was that Teferi? I couldn't hear you. You were too busy going to the graveyard. That's not a land. Alright. Alright, well, there's no point in playing another Tempest Djinn with them at 2. So we're going to say go. And there are definitely sequences of cards they can have here that make it so we can't win the game. But they don't start with Discovery, really. It's basically just a fog. We have no way to counter another fog, so alright, they bin both cards. That's very good for us. It's fog or bust. How about bust? So we almost lost that one. Obviously, Essence Scatter doesn't do anything. Dive Down doesn't do much in this matchup. We're going to want Negates, Spell Pierce. This might be a Jace Cunning Castaway matchup. And what are we not going to want? Obviously, the Exclusion Mages. I don't think that Essence Scatter can go. They may bring in creatures, but we still have counter spells that can counter them anyway. Blink of an Eye. All right. Well, some dive downs have to go too, actually, because dive down just doesn't really do much against them. They don't really try and kill my creatures. So I guess Surge Mare is going to be in the deck just by virtue of being better than dive down. All these other cards are just bad. I mean, they could bring in creatures, could have Lyras and stuff, but these dive downs might just be dead, but they seem better as dive downs than any of these cards, so alright. Another one of those hands. Alright, we're going to mulligan. No threats, no pressure. Negate's good. Dive down's probably pretty bad. Opt is okay, but we want to get in the board early, so we're going to mulligan. I mean, I guess this is a combo. Tempest Djinn plus Islands, but this hand's really bad too. So we're going to mulligan. Okay, it's better than the last one at least. Wizard's Retort. I mean, we do really need counter spells, but Christ. I'm gonna bottom it. We have 3 negates, 4 retorts, a spell pierce. We just need early things to do, honestly. That's an island. But they didn't attack. They actually have no interest in attacking. This is rude. Oh, great, another 3-drop. All right. This is bad. This is not good. We're going to Jace next turn plus. Like, if it's a fairy next turn, we are probably in trouble. We'll see what we draw. Okay. Thank God. Alright. Paradise is fun. You can't counter the inconsequential spells. Alright, this works out alright. I think I like playing Jace. We just want to loot some more counter spells. We don't need 3 Tempest Djinns, you know? We just need to find counter spells and stick stuff.
A manipulation of the mind.
Jace, you're weird. Put a shirt on, dude.
This will come in handy.
Okay, that's fine. They're going to use a fog on one creature with 1 attack. I'm totally cool with that. Alright, so gotta negate that. That's fine.
No more games.
And now they... Alright, Chart of Course is good also, so now we get to get a little draw power going here. We get the loot. It's pretty interesting. I definitely want to cast Chart of Course, try and find some counter magic. And then the question is, do I want... I think I just want the extra land. I don't think I want the Tempest Djinn. Because when the removal is fogs, not Wrath of Gods, we don't need more creatures. We need more counter spells. Because it doesn't matter if we have 5 Tempest Djinns, it just have fog. So... Alright. Chart of Course. I mean, that plays. It's not ideal, but... Alright. They have 5 in the bin. We gotta allow that one. We have enough of a clock where realistically we have a 2-turn clock over the next 2 turns. Search is not the end of the world. Opt ain't bad. We could ultimate this Jace. That's kind of cool. We have lethal over 2 turns. Let's open on Opt. Blink of an eye is not particularly useful for more counter spells. 2/2 negate. Alright, we are going to... I guess we're going to ultimate. It's kind of cool.
Bora, can you really trust your eyes?
I guess we're going to plus both of these.
Let's think this.
I suppose they could fog. Then the question becomes if they fog, do we counter it? We'll get 2 extra looks at cards. This is weird. I don't think making it 2/2 matters, so like our clock is 2 attack steps.
Let's try this.
So they have 2 cards left. I don't think we counter this. I think this is fun. I think we're in a good spot right now. They only have 2 cards. Maybe I should opt in response. Yeah, I'm not using my ops very well. Now I'm gonna opt anyway, so I should have just looked at a card in response. Yeah, that was stupid. Alright, whatever. Chart of Course. Okay, that plays. Oof, yeah, that plays too. Alright. So now we have 2 counter spells. Cleansing Nova. Destroy all creatures. So they kept their card with Search. It might have been the Nova. I think we counter this. Just sets our next turn is just so good if we're able to attack and deal damage. Alright. I am going to opt. And then probably negate it. Obsession? Given that this requires us to deal damage, and if we deal damage we're winning anyway, I'm just going to bottom this. Okay. Island. Don't think the extra damage matters. I'm just going to plus both of these and get my double loot on and find some more counter spells.
Give and take. There's always an answer.
I'm not going to play a land either. Perfect. Just going to discard the Tempest Djinn. A double counter spell now. Actually, I guess the Trickster's worse. No, if they play like a Leer or something, we can just tap out Trickster. Oh. How about them apples? 3/3/2, 2/2/2. I guess we just dumped the island. Alright. I mean, this feels pretty good. We have double counter spell. Teferi. Does Teferi matter? Yes, because it can kill my Tempest Djinn. Okay.
Time for plan B, as soon as I think of one.
So, worked out pretty well. We found our one threat and rode it to victory, despite our hand being pretty bad that game. Hey, we got a card. What we got? We got a Rona, Disciple of Gix. Cool. 2-1. Let's keep rolling here. Mono blue aggro. We've seen the deck basically on display here. This is what this deck does. You know, sticks one threat, puts an obsession on it, deck, draw a card, deck, draw a card, one threat. Not really a go wide deck. It's definitely a very much a like Delver of Secrets style deck. Play a threat, draw some cards, protect it, and sneak through. These opening ends have not been particularly great. We are on the play. So we have like turn 1 Stormtamer, turn 2. We draw a land, we can cast Chart. If not, we're opting for a land. Just feels pretty bad. On the draw, I'd be a lot happier with this. I mean, like the Dive Down and Wizard's Retort look really bad because we got to waste our mana on the early turns to like set up. I'm gonna mulligan. Sweet. Tempest Djinn. Really want to Dive Down, obviously, to protect this Mist-Cloaked Herald. Djinn is good though, but I think I want to counterspell, honestly. Yeah, we are looking very often for specific cards. I like this card a lot. Oh, Obsession. Dive down, dive down, dive down, dive down, dive down. Okay. Hold for a turn here. Swamp, Seeker Squire. I like it. I don't know what is going on, but my Herald is alive, and that's what matters. I like Optimus deck a lot. Again, it's so important to find the right cards. Alright, well, we're set up here. Obviously, we have a lot of islands, but Dive Down, Counterspell. Feeling pretty good. Plaguecrafter. That's a card that I think is great. I think Plaguecrafter is really, really, really good in this format. And this is a lot of the reason why. We have a Dive Down, but it doesn't do anything. Thankfully, we also have Wizard's Retort. Wizard's Retort. So. But I'm a huge fan of this card in my Rakdos mid-range deck. In like the green-black like Dredge kind of deck. I think this card is really, really good against all the top decks in the format. At least for now. Obviously, the new set is coming. Ravnica Allegiance. Another Obsession. Obsession. I'm going to hold it. We'll see what they do. We have plenty of mana, so let's wait and see how they react and go from there. We can split up our Obsessions. We can double up on the Herald. A Chewbacca. Let's go for a dive. Hello. Okay, so I think we're gonna double up here. With our second Dive Down, it's easier to protect, and then Plaguecrafter, it's better against that too. So a weird no attack there. All right, ball's rolling. Just get that ball rolling. Draw islands and a Dive Down. Well, we are doing a thing, and we are doing it well. If our deck was 12 Mist-Cloaked Heralds, 12 Obsessions, 12 Dive Downs, and islands, maybe like 10 Dive Downs, our deck would be really, really good. So we are doing it. We also have Eldest Reborn too. So all right. Opt. Wow. 5 cards in hand, and they just got nothing to do. That's a good one. That's pretty good, too. All right. Could have maybe main phase opt, but they could, like, Contempt here and step, and Price of Fame? Sure. Leave my mana open, it's nice. You know, we have his opt, you can find a counterspell, we have Essence Scatter, like... We're so far ahead that there's no reason to waste our mana. Cabal Stronghold. I don't think that playing Cabal Stronghold and a Zalfarian Void in the same deck is a good idea. I do like the Void, but... Alright, this is a fine dive down. We're going to save Essence Scatter or something better. I think they're going to get mad at us. I don't think they're happy. Moment of Craving on the other one. Opt. Tempest Djinn. It is good. Okay. I can buy Tempest Djinn. And then Moment of Craving is going to resolve. Not really super interested in bouncing their Chupacabras. Or Secret Squire. Draw. Sure. Obviously, just want more counterspells. Chart, of course, is fine. No counterspells there. 5 mana. We have Essence Scatter. Play Tempest Djinn. The Tempest Djinn is lethal. Then we have Essence Scatter available as well. I'm fine with that. We have 2 lethal threats, a Scatter, and an Opt. I'm sorry, this isn't lethal, but if it hits again, we're probably going to win, so... The Eldest Reborn. Now, this is an interesting spot. I guess if they have something that kills one of these things, it just doesn't matter anyway. What do we sacrifice? It's probably just the Herald. Just go for the kill, right? Like, it feels weird, but now we're at the point where we just want to kill them, so this last card has to be exactly a removal spell of some kind. I'm not going to block. I don't know what they could have, but they're just dead on board, so just untap and kill them. Cool. Protect your Curious Obsession creature at all costs, unless it wins you the game. So, Chupacabra, something or other deck. I don't even know if I want a sideboard, honestly. I'm not really exactly sure what they're doing. I mean, if they didn't play the Zafarian Void, I might think they're playing the Ali Untrazi, like, Lantern something or other mono black deck, but they played a Zafarian Void, so maybe they're just playing the Void because they figure, like, all the lands would be swamps anyway with the thing, but I don't really know. I just stand pat. Yeah, just stand pat. Could have maybe brought like a Negate or two, but we have counterspells. Alright, we're keeping. Herald, Obsession, land. Force them to have an answer on turn 2. They mulligan to 6. The big thing about Obsession is that as long as you get the first hit in, the card at least replaces itself, which is huge. The boot. The boot's pretty good against us, but we have a chart, of course, so... I imagine they're assuredly taking the Obsession. Yep. The old Merfolk Trickster. Pass a Trickster up here, it's pretty sketchy. I'm gonna draw 2. Hello, what have we here? Basically Splinter Twin. Obsession, dive down. Alright. And we're going for it. Nothing? Drawing cards, taking actions. Playing lands, same go. So, we could go for the Paraska's Contempt. Alright, so let's dive down. Again, Contempt is one of the best cards in the format, and it is very, very bad against this deck. 4-mana removal spell is not what you want against a bunch of 1-drops. So, alright, let's get attack in here. Ideally, let's draw land. We drew an opt. I think I would like to have access to Retort if necessary, so we're just going to say go. Could try and opt for a land, but... Void. Problem is, I think this card's really good, but most decks that are monocolored want to have all their lands be one thing, either for triple color cards or Cabal Stronghold. Alright, so this is fine. I might not even opt, honestly. If I opt and they Contempt, it's a blowout. I'm just going to take my turn. It's important knowing when to cast your spells. It's important also knowing when not to cast your spells. And not leave your opponent an opening. Dive down is nice. We're going to discard a... That's how I just opt. We have Trickster, block, dive down. I guess opt does fit the curve. Maybe we don't need all of these retorts. I mean, maybe this is just Tempest Djinn, honestly. Yeah, you need so much protection here. We're good. We don't need any more big dumb things. This is kind of the card for when things are going wrong. Alright, so we're gonna Essence Scatter this. I like to save dive down for other stuff. And they might attack into my Trickster here. They are doing it. Get tricky. M2 rocker around, 2 rocker around, and rocker. Okay. For a second there, I thought that might not work, because if it loses the ability, would I still get the card back? But apparently I do, so that's good. Obsession. Obsession is so good. Land is great. Land is great. Land, so go. And we have double Retort up, and this game is really, really over. Duress. Sure. Take a look. I expect a concession. Alright. Alright. I'll add that one to the mix too. Caw. That's a nice part too, is you hit game states like this where you can't lose anymore. Like once you have that bit, once you hit turn the corner and untap with your counter spells, the game is usually over. Yeah, I mean, double counterspell dive down. Ritual of Soot. Yeah, that's fine. So, Pawn's deck was weird. I mean, I don't know what their deck was, but they're playing all real cards. They're all just kill spells, so we got another card. It's a double cast. I didn't even know this card existed. Alright, 3-1. Gameplay in Arena is really nice. Just sitting here, playing my mouse. Usually on Moto, you have to have your hand on the F2 key, and you got to be clicking through phases and stuff. It's nice, just like, all right, Tempest Djinn gets cast, and Counterspell gets cast. Just nice. They really, as I said on Friday on my article, that there's a lot of things they need to fix about Arena. And again, please check out my article on CoolStuffInc.com from last Friday, all about Arena and pros and cons and why is it great. A lot of things they need to fix. You know, the cons, not the cons, really. The features that I want list was very, very long, but the true test is the game fun to play, and it's definitely fun to play. It's just easy and quick, and whew. This hand is bad. Our opponent kept 7. I don't think we can realistically go to 5 here. I don't think the hand is that bad. We have a scry, like... It's bad. It is definitely bad, but... Going to 5 on the play is pretty tough. Well, unfortunately our top 2 cards were islands. It's possible we're playing a mirror here. Mirror seems weird. Neither deck interacts terribly well. Nope. Search for Azcanta. Okay. Oh my god. Exclusion Mage looks so bad. Take 2 for Steam Vents, Enigma Drake. I mean, there are so many worse things coming down the road, but we can't really beat this either. This just feels awful. So, question there is like, why wouldn't I just Exclusion Mage it? Because they just cast it again next turn and nothing's changed. You know, like, it's just not really getting anywhere. You know, maybe later I can set up like a counterspell bounce sequence or something, but we are in trouble here. Okay. We're trying to weasel our way out of this one. I think that flashing in a Trickster and drawing an Obsession might do it. What did they discard? Discarded a Dive Down. This makes sense. Get tricky. This is not a Curious Obsession. I mean, it feels bad, but I think we're just doing it. We have a Stormtamer for like the next kill spell, so I already have 7 in the bin? Good lord. Niv-Mizzet is also a huge problem for this deck. Obviously, we can't counter it because it's uncounterable, so... It's so big! Session. We did it. Okay. That's step 1. Tilt. Step 1 has been thwarted. I think we're in trouble. I think this is fine. I'd rather have the Stormtamer in play than a 2-2. I mean, we're just dead in 2 turns. I don't know why we're still playing, honestly, but take a pretty absurd sequence of cards for us to win this game, and our opponents have nothing, and they also have an Azcanta. So, like, yeah. Okay, you win this round. Seems a little tough, honestly. They just have like a lot of cheap removal and like really big threats that we can't really do much about. Our dive downs seem important. Our exclusion mages seem kind of bad, honestly. Like bouncing Enigma Drake is fine, but we really want to counter the bigger Drakes. I guess they have the stupid Niv-Mizzets though, so we can't even beat that card. So we need our deep freezes. Blink seems kind of lame. Surge Mare seems... The wand can kill... This card's so weird. Unable to redeem... What? That's a weird bug. Still in beta. Still in beta. This might be the matchup for this, honestly. I don't really want Negate or Spell Pierce. Their spells aren't really their important cards. They're just cantrips that set up their stuff. This seems kind of tough, honestly. Alright. Let's pull through here. Play first. Better hand. Better hand. Much better hand. No one drop. It's got the tools, though. We're going to keep. Creature. Not a creature. Creature. Not a creature. Come on. Interesting. So that's definitely a shock. Again, it's very important to pay close attention to your opponent's plays. And turn 1 Steam Vents untapped, and then no opt means it has to be shock. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's rather elementary, but it's an important thing to recognize. The puzzles you're figuring out for your opponent to try and figure out their hand aren't always going to be that easy. But not going to cast Djinn yet. Rather have dive down up because we have 2 dive downs in our hand. We have Essence Scatter available. Switch for Escanto. Oh my god. Now the problem is that every turn, once Escanto is in play, it's like a ticking time bomb. Where every turn it stays in play, things get worse and worse for us. Because if both players just do nothing, then they just flip this eventually. Alright, I think that's changed things enough for us to hope they don't have a lava coil here. They've been a land. Alright, so they have their 4th land. Crackling. That's bad. It's not good. But could be worse. Get to Obsession here. Bring Tempest Djinn to 5 toughness. Attack. Have dive down and counterspell up. It could be worse. Bin Discovery. That's interesting, because I feel like casting Discovery is really good for search. It's kind of weird. You got it. Dink for 1. It's probably another Drake here. Shard, of course. Interesting. I mean, getting the Djinn to 5/5 is huge. Because they can't kill it with 1 spell anymore. Alright. As much as I don't want to, we may be in the market to deep freeze this Crackling Drake soon. Although if they have Niv-Mizzet next turn, we're in big trouble. Alright. They start a mountain. We are getting in for a pretty significant chunk of damage here. Yeah, honestly, that's fine. We just play Tempest Djinn here, and I might just kill him next turn. Scatter. Right. I mean, our hand is definitely our hand. You know, it's not fantastic, but the problem is that they flip this, play a land, and have Nimizit with dive down backup. We can't win anymore, but I guess kinda can win. Probably not. That's awkward. We do double dive down though, so nice essence scatters.
Just try.
Spell pierce the dive down. How about dive down again? So many dive downs. Nice. Dive down is great. All right, that was a victory. That worked. Obsession comes through again. Maybe we are interested in Blink of an Eye. I think I'm happy. Oh, we're nice little comeback here, possibly. It's Pig Sofa. That's a hand. No protection spell. We have a Stormtamer though. We can kind of make this work. Alright, so we're gonna Herald. We'll see what we do as far as Obsession next turn. We may want to get down Stormtamer first. We'll see what they do. Just draw a dive down, make it easy. Okay, we did not draw a dive down and make it easy. So if we Obsession and play Stormtamer, they probably kill the creature. We get to untap, attack, chart. That's not even good either. We're going to slow down a little bit. Next turn we'll have Obsession plus Chart, of course, or I mean Essence Scatter or Stormtamer. That's pretty good for us. Discard an Opt. Double Chart, of course, is not a great opening for them, obviously. Alright, Mountain means Shock. Retort is probably good. No Shock? Okay. Well, the ball just started rolling. End the turn with Wizard Retort and Stormtamer up. And Essence Scatter. Enigma Drake with a 1-mana open. Alright, that's a pretty easy Essence Scatter. They didn't have Shock last turn, so if they drew it this turn, Spell Pierce is fine also. Okay, now we're in a spot where we have Tempest Djinn, Charticourse, Trickster, a lot of options here. Wizard Retort. Retort's obviously just pure counterspell right now. Playing Tempest Djinn is not really reasonable this turn. I want to leave up a counterspell for a possible Drake. think I just like chart and pass. Alright, plays. The Drake itself is obviously fairly threatening. This is a pretty quick clock. But, you know, we're 20. You can take a hit or two. We have Trickster. We have blockers if we really want them. And we're not going to die to this one Drake, you know. Shard of Course. It's a third copy of Shard of Course, right? Okay. That's fun. Alright. Don't see reason to play Trickster yet. Okay. I think I'm ready to play Tempest Djinn. Other options are just like Stormtamer, Trickster to tap, maybe. But I think getting a large creature on the board while still having counterspell mana is good. Their hand seems weird. Like, they don't have spells they can cast for 3 or less mana that they want to cast. Could be more conditional cards like Spell Pierce, something like Ral Zarek. We're not going to block. We could obviously block in Trickster here, but we want to leave our mana open for things like that. Sure. Don't think they're casting 9 spells here to kill us, so... Another Enigma Drake with 2 mana open. I think we have to counter this. We also now have 2 threats in play too, so if they like Lava Coil my Herald or my Tempest Djinn, it's at the end of the world. We're gonna counter this. They counter back, it's tough, but they know that no other play here means the game's probably just over. I with just these. We're actually going to chump this next turn. You could Trickster it also, but I'd rather just leave the extra blocker back in case things go horribly wrong. They're going to 3 here anyway, so they're going to be dead to most things. That plays. Alright, so Scatter covers some stuff. Trickster is interesting. They chose to not cast that op before damage. It's weird. What could they have that cost that amount of mana that they'd want to leave up but didn't actually cast? They move to combat, we're casting Trickster. And they're dead to all of our creatures. They could have Fiery Cannonade, but our Stormtamers are now our pirates, so they don't die to that. Which is funny. Of course, our Tempest Djinn is also pretty lethal. In the tank. Looking at my graveyard. Well, that is a magic card. Can't Essence Scatter that one. Actually, I don't think we need to with them at 1 life, so... I suppose I should have... Oh, that was dumb. That doesn't really matter, I guess. Just tap to visit anyway, so it doesn't really change anything. I mean, even if they have like a shock here, I don't think it matters, so... Shock kills one thing, and then the two other creatures kill them. Yeah, I mean, that plays. They get to kill my Stormtamer, but they're also dead to all my creatures, so... Unless for some reason I want to cast a million spells before combat here, they are dead. So, that's pretty cool. We beat Nib Mizzet. Beating Nib Mizzet with this deck is not easy. Just gonna throw it out there. So that's cool. Matchup did not seem very easy. They have a lot of shocks and cheap removal. Again, our deck is very good against expensive removal, but they had cheap removal. So, we get a Goblin Warchief. On brand. Get the old art, though. Please, thank you. Alright, 4-1. This is the last match. Either we 5-1 or 4-2. Both are good results. And again, our deck has like 7 rares in it and no mythics. So, Teferi is a formidable opponent. In Modern, Teferi wins this fight. Teferi versus Jace, but... well, it doesn't have a obsession, but pretty hard to mulligan this one. Overgrown 2. Hinterland Harbor Thought Erasure. Hello. That was unexpected. I figured it would be a little, Wild Growth Walker or Merfolk Branch Walker, some kind of Walker. Retort. Yeah, this is probably some sort of like Sultai control deck, I guess. They binned an Eldest Reborn. Well, we are going to go aggro. And hopefully draw another counterspell. Yeah, we're just going to ship here. If they have a sweeper, it's going to be good no matter what. So we have a lot of counterspells in our deck. And a pretty fast clock, which is try and kill them. Popular card on Arena. Not a great card, but alright. I think we just keep this dive down. And I hope these cards are good enough. Again, this is where Tempest Djinn comes in. You know, all of our other cards are really small and scrappy, and also crappy. But Tempest Djinn's a house. So things start going wrong, draw Obsession, they kill some of your stuff. Just play Tempest Djinn, just kill them, Also a little flood insurance, too. You don't really want your Tempest Djinn to go past 5 power, but if you flood, it does, and it's okay. Search for Asganta, sure. A lot of slow setup cards here. So please don't have Ritual of Soot. Been a Syncopate. Draw. I think these decks are usually pretty poorly constructed. Just don't think this card is very, very good. Vraska's Contempt. Don't they know we have Dive Down? Don't they know it's Christmas? I mean, definitely the kind of deck we want to play against. Just slow sorcery speed spells. So, alright, we're going to bring in our Negates and our Spell Pierce. I don't think you want Jace. We're going to cut our Exclusion Mages. I'm not sure what they're playing yet, but cut those. I'm going to cut an Essence Scatter or 2. Looks like they're playing like a mostly creatureless deck. And then I'll leave it here. I think I'm pretty happy with this. We can readjust accordingly. Accordingly. I want to remind everyone, of course, check out CoolStuffInc.com. My articles go up every Friday. My videos, of course, are up every Monday. If you're watching on YouTube right now, go to the site because there's an accompanying article with the video. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're missing out on that. And make sure you follow Cool Stuff on YouTube. And check out the site. Of course, great deals. My promo code for CoolStuffInc.com is Jim5 for 5% off your order. Check that out. Make sure you use that. And we got the old Obsession combo. Let's keep only one land, but we're on the draw. Cool Stuff Inc. Magic.com. Yeah, but for real though, check out the article I wrote last Friday. I think that Arena is really important, and we're at a really, really exciting time for Magic right now. And if you're not excited, you should be, because I think that 2019 is going to be a hallmark year for the game Magic the Gathering. And that's in the history of the game of the last 20 years. 25 years. So, check it out. I'm stoked. You should be too. Alright, so worst case scenario, we draw a card. If they don't kill our Heralds this turn, we are probably in phenomenal shape. And if they do, we have Tempest Djinn, so... Okay, that's fine also. I don't actually mind that. I think that Assassin's Trophy is pretty bad in Standard. Like, this extra mana we have now is awesome. So now you get to play a Tempest Djinn with Stormtamer backup. I don't think I'm really scared of any potential 4-drops. I want to use Retort a little later. And once this card gets down, things get really filthy. Thief of Sanity. I mean, that card is good. I think it's a good sideboard juke card. I don't think it's particularly good against us, though. Like, we just have Tempest Djinns and stuff. Alright, go nuts. Bird. I do think this card is very, very good, just for the record, and it's underplayed in Standard right now. I'm not sure what deck actually wants it, but it is very, very good. I will block. They could have a Golden Demise, but I would just counter that, untap, and probably kill them, so I think it's fine. Surprise. You did. So we need to find any land in 1,000,000 cards. Cool. Yeah, any slow, clunky control deck is just a cakewalk for mono blue, usually. Alright, so I was a little scared that at first, I'm not going to lie. When we lost that first match, and then our second opponent went like turn 1, like land, key 2, fire, or whatever, I was like, oh god, because these leagues only last until you have 2 losses. And I have recorded one league, or tried to record one league on Arena where I O2'd, and I was just like, I feel really stupid. I guess I'll record a different video. I don't think the 40-minute long double loss video is going to go over very well. So, pretty happy we pulled that one out. So, 4-1, or 5-1, and we get a Ship's Caretaker. 5 wins, claim our prize, and we get no mythics, only rares. We'll see how we did, though. You guys want to see? I could just end the video right now. I know opening cards isn't really what Magic players like to do. Alright. Bye, everyone. Just kidding. Direfleet Daredevil. That's my 4th one. Nice. A Chaos Wand. Target opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile an instant or sorcery. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Input exile cards if they weren't cast. Okay, that is a card. And Kopala, Warden of Waves. Cool. I'll take it. So, all in all, I think that this deck is I don't think it's like the best choice, but it is a very solid choice in Standard. Obviously, we went 5-1 here. Caleb won the tournament on Tuesday. Some of our opponents' decks were a little weird, but it's all reasonable stuff. We're obviously playing in a competitive event on Arena. So, deck's great for the value. This is a 7 rare deck, no mythics, very easy to build on Arena. A great first deck for Arena. So, if you haven't gotten your toe in the waters yet, I suggest doing that now. You don't want to do it later on when everyone's already in and you're just learning how to swim. So, I would get into Arena. Again, I think Arena's phenomenal. I would hop on to my article from Friday and read more about Arena. And, yeah, deck's pretty fun. Definitely also, I think aside from being a good, beginner deck in the sense that it's cheap, I think this is a really, really good deck as far as, learning how Magic works. Just learning how to pace your things, plan out your turns, threat assessment, tempo. you just learn a lot when you play this deck. And I think that it's challenging to play in that regard, but I think a deck that will reap great rewards for your quest to be better at Magic. If that is your quest, of course. You know, just playing Rekindling Phoenix after Rekindling Phoenix will win you a lot of games, but sometimes you're just, all right, here's my Mythic Rare attack, you know, and this is a deck that really requires you to ninja in and ninja out. So check it out. It's a lot of fun. Otherwise, I'll see you fine folks on Friday for my article. And of course, Christmas is this week. So happy holidays, everyone, whether it's Christmas or whatever you celebrate. Hope you have a wonderful holiday with your family and friends. Play some holiday cubes on Magic Online. And yeah, get pumped up for an exciting new year. I'm excited. You should be too. Once again, check out CoolStuffInc.com for all your gaming needs. Jim5 is the promo code. My articles are Friday, videos are Monday, and of course, fantastic other articles by other authors. Games, Magic cards, board games, you name it, it's all on there. CoolStuffInc.com. I'll see you fine folks on Friday for an article, and then back here on the video side of things next Monday. Have an awesome one, folks. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, hop on over and give it a channel to follow. You can go check out my stuff too on YouTube and Twitch as well. So, thanks everyone. Have a good night or morning or whatever it is for you. Happy holidays.